Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, July 29, and I'm back. I wasn't able to film last week. We were getting ready for vacation, and my husband worked from home, and I ended up being gone another day that I wasn't planning on the week before. So anyways, I'm here. We've 2 weeks worth of stitching to show you. Not exactly what I had planned this past week, but I kind of expected it would be that way. When I write in my little planner what I have time for, I don't necessarily take into account vacation realities. For example, the day or two before vacation can almost be worse for stitching time than during the vacation because there's just so much to get ready. We went to Lake Tahoe with my family and my in-laws, and it was a really nice time. I was able to stitch a little bit in the evenings, which I was not able to do as much on our last vacation in June, because this time my in-laws go to bed before we do, so then there was extra time to just chill in the evening. So that was nice. A lot of that time was stitching time, and I will let you know what I did with that stitching time in a minute. First, I realized there's stuff that I still need to show you from 2 weeks ago that I was working on that have kind of been off my memory, but they're still here, so I will share those with you. So I believe last time I was finishing up time on Knitting Woman. I think I had a little bit more in a certain color that I wanted to do before I put it away, and I did that, I'm pretty sure. So this is what it looked like before. Got all my parch threads now. And here is what it looks like now. So I believe I filled in the rest of this color in this sleeve, and from what I'm remembering, I finished that string, which is what I thought I would only do, but then there was still more of that color on the page, and I went ahead and started a new string and finished it off and then parked it. So I think it's one of these ones right here. So that is a clear page break now, which is really nice. It's starting to fill in a little bit more. And what I decided to do, as I mentioned last time, I had been doing this cross country and I was getting bogged down with it. So I'm basically going up and down the columns, stitching, and then I'll park it in the next page. That's kind of what I decided to do for now. So far, I think it will be working. These are half stitches, 2 over 1 on 22 count. I would not recommend the coverage, but for this, it's already well started, and I will continue with it. And from a distance, it looks fine. So, that was that one. Feels like forever ago that I worked on that. And then the next one I think I was working on was Villa Mirabilia, and I wanted to work on this pot up here. And I did a decent amount of greenery, not as much as I would have liked. But I think my new Mirabilia goal, or Fancy Lady goal, is to finish this pot before the end of the year. Because I finished a Fancy Lady the last couple years, and none of my Fancy Ladies are currently close enough to want to focus on them with that much dedication. I was thinking maybe Stargazer because she's the smallest. But I don't know. I didn't want to stick with her for that long, necessarily. And a couple other people finished their Stargazers this year, so it's been done. And so sometimes I feel like I want my piece to be my piece. I don't know. And I know some of you feel that way too. If too many other people are working on something, then it kind of takes the unique interest away from your piece. I still love Stargazer. I just don't necessarily want to focus on her all the time. But I think what I want to do is, this piece is really calling to me with all of these colors, but I don't want to do too much in her dress until the top is done, because then I'll have to go back up and work on it when all the stitching is here and have to, you know, roll up the stitching. And I'd rather just get this silly pot done. So that'll be my goal for this year, I think, is to finish this pot. This is where she was last time. And here is where I got to. That's all of her right there. and I focused up here in the plant. I had this part down here already done and a little bit of the edging here, so I did the lightest color all the way through here, finished that up, and then I came back with this next medium color and did most of it. There's a little bit more right here, and then there's some other colors, and these colors repeat as well in like a motif in here. So I didn't get as far as I'd like. It does take a while. There's a lot of stitches in here, but I am happy with it, and it is progress. And so that's, I think, my goal for the rest of 2019 for Fancy Ladies is to finish that pot and all the greenery there and the beads and everything that goes up there. So, oh yeah, I did do some of this purple, which is like the beading areas, only in the shadows. So when it goes into the shadows, it'll turn this really dark purple cross stitch, but when it comes back out into the light, it'll be beads. So there's like garlands of beads draping through here. So those are some of the dark purple shadow beads. So that's what I got to on Villa Mirabilia last week, not the week we just had, but the week before that. And I'm really excited to get back to her dress when I'm done with that pot. So that will be fun to keep working on her every once in a while. She won't come out again in August because of Arbitrary August, but I might fit her in every month or two for the rest of the year to try to get that pot finished. So. And I do want to work on Cherry Kitten some more in September as well, because I was really sad I didn't get a lot done on that last month, or at the beginning of this month. So those are two that I'll pull out again soon. Where's my little kitty? What else was there? Yeah, I think that's the only thing. I still don't know what I'll do for my birthday, if I'll do a sal or anything. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know. Maybe I'll do a vote. You guys can vote on what I work on for my birthday. That'll be fun. And I'm realizing there's several other focuses that I'm gonna have, and I know the beginning of the year I was doing a lot of focus on finishes, and I got lots of things finished, and then I kind of got burnt out on that and wanted to start doing a lot of other things, and now I'm kind of refocusing some new things that I want to finish that I may not have had on my radar previously. So it's kind of fun, and there's some things I'm pulling back out that I think I do want to get done. So lots of changes are coming. Sort of. The other thing I've been working on is my Quick Stitch Iris by Heaven and Earth Designs, and this was my Tour de France challenge piece for Full Coverage Fanatics in their Facebook group, and we're stitching the tour basically. It was July 6th through the 28th, so it ended yesterday, and there were 3 tracks you could do. You could do all of the legs of the race, just the hills, or the flat time trial legs, which is the one I chose because I had the fewest number of stitches, and I can only commit to so much. As it was, I wasn't sure I would be able to get it done because of our vacation. However, because of those evenings that we had, I was able to plug away on this on the evenings and get it all done. So I had 2 days that I finished after they were supposed to be stitched, and then the very last day, which would have been Sunday, I knew we'd be in the car. I didn't want to work on this in the car. I did that a day early. So I got it all done on Saturday night, and I'm very excited about it. So this is what that looked like last time. And here it is now. I think it's turning out really nice. I think I'll also show you a picture of the beginning of the challenge and then compared to now, because I think it was like 1,587 stitches, I think, for the green jersey, which is what I went for, which is more than I've done in 1 month on any full coverage piece since I've kept track. And I don't usually keep track because I normally hate keeping track, but this particular method, it's not too bothersome. It's kind of fun. And I finished like 2 diagonals and I'm partway through this one. This is the beginning of another flower. This big flower right here, that's the tip of that. And this start of this flower is also starting over here. That's the petal at on the corner of that flower. So I've got 3 flowers going now, and this is the corner. These 2 diagonals are into page 1. This is page 2. This is page 1. So it's really coming along. And I had mentioned before that I think I want my this to be focused on for the next year, I guess, as a weekend piece every month except for May and August because of Stitch Mania and Arbitrary August, and then I can potentially finish it in time to gift to my aunt the end of next year for her birthday. So that's kind of my goal. I'm going to try it in September, and if I completely hate it, then I will revise it. But I'm hoping to maybe get 2,400 stitches every month, which is more than this, more than I got for the Tour de France. But yeah, we'll see what I can do. I'm giving it more days, so we'll see. And if not, I'll just do the 1,200 stitch challenge every month and just increase it to 2 years. You know, it's better than nothing, and I'll still be making good progress. The thing I like about this piece is it's got a little bit of confetti here and there, but a lot of chunks of color too, so it doesn't get super tedious. It actually, there's sections that go, you know, satisfyingly fast. So I am really happy with that one. I am kind of sad that I'll be putting it down in August because I want to kind of keep the momentum up, so I'm not really sure how to go about that. Yeah, because I already have my temperature pieces that I want to keep up on every day, so even putting in a few stitches every day on this may end up being too annoying, but who knows? Like, yeah, we'll see. I don't want to overwhelm myself, so I don't want to commit to a lot of things, but I'm tempted to do something like one thread a day or 10 minutes a day or something like that, just to kind of do a little bit more on this to not give up on it. And maybe I could get 1,200 stitches just doing that and knock that much more off of my future goal. I don't know. We'll kind of wait and see how I feel in August. But I'm really feeling like I should keep rolling with that one and not put it away for a whole month, but we'll kind of see how it goes. But that's my plan with that one. My other things, I worked on a little bit, my temperature pieces, not a lot. This past week I didn't work on them at all until on the way home from Lake Tahoe I finished something, and so then I worked on my sashing on my quilt for a little bit. So this past week I didn't work on them at all. They're very far behind. But the week before, which you also didn't see, I think I worked on them both a little bit. So I'll go ahead and show them. I'm not exactly sure how much progress there is because it's been a while. But this is the mock-up of the temperature quilt. This is what it looked like before. And here it is now. I think since I showed you, I did some filling in up here. And then I know yesterday I did all the rest of this July satching, so, or between the June and July. So that's ready to fill in now. And I could go all the way down to here, so there's a good amount that I need to fill in, plus the lows right here. But it's coming along slowly but surely, and my plans for the next couple days of July, there's still 3 more days here in July. I'll work on these, getting caught up on these, as well as some other pieces I didn't work on last week, and I'll share those in a minute, that I was wanting to get to. My other one is my balloons, which I didn't work on at all this week, so, but probably I did last week. So this is the mock-up for that one. You can find these in my Etsy shop. This is what it looked like before. And here it is now. I may have a little bit more of the balloon done, but I'm not sure how much. And I did a little bit more of the basket, but it hasn't been worked on in a week, so I need to get caught up on this. And we've been having warmer weather the last week too, so on both of these I'll have some fairly bright colors probably. So hopefully I can get dug out of my hole over the next week or two. Get those cut up. So that's those ones. And I also worked on my travel piece, the Little House Needleworks December, which is my last one of this series, and I finished it with just a little bit of things last week, but this past week going to Lake Tahoe and back, it was like 5 or 6 hours, though there was like there's a chunk in the mountains that I didn't stitch. I didn't want to risk getting sick, but all the rest of the trip I worked on this, and I didn't work on it while I was there, just in the car, and I managed to get it done. So this is what that looks like before, and here it is now. So I think last time I was still painting the house. I finished painting the house. Then I worked on planting the trees in the front yard and doing the border with the snow and the branches. And the snow does blend in a little bit, but I think it works. And this is Dove Gray Monaco, 28 count, 1/1. And I brought this out to show you. I'm not going to go through them all because I recently did, but this is their finishing solution. It is a 5x5 frame. I believe I got it at Michael's. This is a little bit grayer than it's showing. It's a gray wood. That's closer. I got it at Michael's. Came with the frame. Came with a mat, I mean. And then this is on 28 count, 1/1. It fit in there pretty nicely. So that's what I'm going to do with all of these. And I just swap it out like a photo. Along with this one over here is similar 5x7 frame, 3.5 by 5 inch mat that I believe I bought separately. And then it just goes in there like a picture too. That's also on 28 count. Tea-dyed Monaco. So those are really cute and they're really fun. I have this one in the other room. It's not normally here. It's next to my National Parks pieces in the TV room. So that's all of those ones. I've finished a whip, technically, because I had all 12 of those as one project. So that's done now. So what am I going to do going forward for our travel stitching? I had a couple ideas, and I think I'm going to do both of them. One of my ideas was to do Furry Animals Freebie by Heaven and Earth Designs to get this done. And I like that idea in some respects, but in other respects I don't. And I'll explain. This is where it's at right now. 28 count, 2/1/2 stitches. And it's deceivingly got a lot left. Like there's a lot of these need to get filled in. There's little holes throughout here and a good amount down here in the grass or underbrush or whatever. I like the thought of working on this for travel stitching because travel stitching gets a good amount of time, especially like when school's in session in the valet line waiting for the kids. Like there's a decent amount of time that I can sit and get a few minutes here and there. And this would be okay for the times when I'm stationary in the car, and I can focus on it and I can have like a little box with me with all the colors because there's still a decent amount of colors left. But this is not a good one. I might even be able to work on it if I'm riding for a short time, like to church or something. But it's not good to take to like a doctor's appointment or a skating lesson because there's just so much. It's like the pattern folds open and there's a lot of colors and it's just a little, I need to highlight things. It's just a little bit more complicated. So I don't want to do this as a grab and go piece, but I could use it as a more stuck in the car type travel piece. So I think I'll kit this up with the colors I have left and get it ready to go for when I'm in the car. And then if I have something where I need to go out, I'm going to use the Tea and Cakes Sal by Lakeside Needlecraft. And I won't show it again because it's a free pattern, but you can go to their Facebook group and get it. I am not very far on this. I'm doing it on 32 count linen, I believe. And I'm doing my border in DMC 62. So it's got a little variegation to it instead of the solid color they suggested, but everything else I'll do as charted. Not a lot started on this. It's kind of just a silly, fun project that I just started on a whim. But the thing that what I like about this one is it's very flat in my sheet protector. What I can do is I can get a ring of all the colors, not a ring, this thing. My little thread organizer that I got from Shelly, Key X Stitch, has some kitties on it. It was like a little kid's lacing thing. And these are my threads from Storytime Sampler that I still haven't put away. But what I can do is I can put these threads away, like I should have done like 3 months ago, add the threads for this one, and keep those in here, and this can be my grab and go project. Because once I take the fabric out, the pattern is one sheet. I can just leave it on my lap and use it, which is how I used this one. I would just take out my fabric and leave everything else in the bag and just leave it on my lap, and I could see the pattern, and I didn't have to highlight, and it was very easy. So I think that's what I'm going to do. This will be my grab and go project, and this will be my stationery in the car travel project. So I'll have two. So I may work on some weeks and some other weeks, and some weeks I'll get both, you know. So anyways, that's kind of my plan. We'll see how it goes, because I would like to get this one done this year as well. It's very close. It feels deceivingly close because I get a color done and there's still a million more to go, but I'll get there. And it would be nice to get that Tea and Cakes one done too, because it's kind of just a frivolous, silly one. It's cute, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I'll make a project big out of it or something. Anyways, all that to say, I think those are what I'm going to do. Going forward for travel stitching, I'm not sure. I might need to start something new. So hopefully these will last me the rest of the year. Because I don't have anything else that's small. So I probably should have something on the go that's small. In the past, I had one of my golden kites was a travel piece, but again, that's one that I can take with me. I can't take it with me very easily to certain things, like to a dentist appointment with my kids. You know, it's more cumbersome than that. So I might need something else that's a little bit smaller that I can do stuff with. But we shall see. My other thing, which this might actually work because these are kind of small, but this is my H-Fairy and my Dragon Ride, and these are things I was supposed to do this past week, and because of our vacation I didn't get to them. And I was hoping to give this 2 days and this 1 day, and today, tomorrow, and the next day I had slotted in to do my blackwork flower with butterflies that I started last year for Carrie and Stitch's birthday sal, and it's a Leslie Tier pattern, very pretty. However, because I didn't get these done, didn't get any time on them, and they won't come out in August either, I'll go ahead and work on those the next couple days. So I'll just spend 2 days on the dragon and 1 day on the fairy, and then that will be a wrap for July. So the next couple days I'll work on these, which I guess I should show you where they're at now. Have a comparison. Here's my fairy for the letter H for my niece. I'll work on that 1 day. Maybe more of her dress and some of the letters or something. Get some more of the big chunks done. And my dragon is looking like this. So I may do more. I have some yellow on my string, on my needle that I'll finish out up here, but I think I'll work more in this wing area right here. So we'll see what I get done on that. And that's what I will do this week for the next few days. Then it is August. And I actually had a question recently, what is Arbitrary August? Because they'd never heard of it before. So Arbitrary August is kind of, I thought of it last year as something to just break things up and do something interesting and different. And I got everybody, viewers' opinion on what to call it. And I forget who thought of the name, but one of you suggested Arbitrary August, and I like that, so we went with it. And what I did last year is I cut out papers of all of my whips and put them in a bowl, and I did a physical drawing. Every day I'd pull a whip, which one is it, I'll work on it that day. I showed you what it looked like. The next day I showed you how far I got, and I pulled a new one. And I did a very tangible, physical, daily drawing, and I did a vlog style update and compiled them once a week for you, I believe. That kind of went viral, I guess, through the Flosstube community. A lot of people decided to do it as well, in varying degrees. Somebody on Instagram found the Tiny Decisions app and decided to do Arbitrary August with the wheel, and that's where that kind of got started. So now a lot of people use their wheel as a regular part of their rotation to come up with what they want to work on, where they don't know what to work on, so they push a button and it tells you what to do. So all of that kind of happened because of last year's Arbitrary August. And so I feel like I should do it again. And this year I don't want to spend only one day on pieces, because I feel like, especially in the summer, life is too crazy for a one-day rotation. So I'm going to do a 3-day rotation, which will give me 10 projects in the month of August. And I've also decided that just to keep things interesting, I'm only going to put in the projects that I have not yet worked on in 2019. So they're only things that you have not yet seen me work on this year. So that'll keep it another element of randomness, I guess. So the blackwork flower piece that I was going to work on today, tomorrow, and Wednesday will go into my Arbitrary August rotation. I'm going to use the Tiny Decisions app this time, and I will do a vlog style update, sort of, I think. So like when I draw it, I'll film the Tiny Decisions wheel and I'll show you my progress, and then I'll come back in 3 days and do it again. And since I guess that'll only be like 2 or 3 a week, I may, let's see. So if I have 10, I don't know. I could just do 2. I don't know. I was thinking I could do like 5 and 5 and do 2 in the month of August, but that seems like too few. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. I'll somehow come up with a way to like compile them in a... I could maybe just upload them every time I do it, because I'll be doing them every 3 days, and then I wouldn't have to edit much at all. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So you may see slightly more frequent videos in August. You may see slightly less frequent, depending on if I decide to compile things or not. But that's kind of what I'm planning to do, a 3-day rotation on randomly drawn whips that I have not yet touched this year. So hopefully I won't fall in love with something that I'll now need to add to my must finish it by the end of the year project pile. But we'll see. So that'll be fun, because some of those things that are left in my closet are ones that may not have ever had any attention this year. So this will kind of be their one shot at glory, at 15 minutes of fame. So that's kind of my plan starting Thursday. So you probably won't see anything from me until... if I do a daily system of uploading, not a daily, but every rotation, then you would see something maybe on Sunday or Monday, like just about a week from now, because I would probably, how am I going to do that? I'll go through Saturday, film on Sunday. I'll film on the first day of a rotation, because I'll draw and show you what I finished the last rotation. So sometime on Sunday, I may have something ready for you, and then I might do it like every beginning of the rotation. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think that's everything. I'm a little tired and frazzled, but I wanted to get this up there because it'd been a while, and I'm really happy with the progress I made on my iris piece for the Tour de France. I'm really happy finishing my Little House Needlework series. And there's other things that have been neglected that I'm really hoping to get back to, so that's kind of where I'm at. Hopefully you have a little bit of stitching time wherever you are. I know summers can be kind of full and busy, and stitching time doesn't necessarily fit into that. So, and if you're in the southern hemisphere, you're probably getting into winter where it's going to be cool and perfect weather for stitching. So hopefully you can enjoy that too. And I will come back and share my Arbitrary August stuff with you. And until then, happy stitching. Bye.